Imagine you have a handful of sand, and you're tasked with separating it into two piles. In the first, you have to put only those sand particles that are smaller than the width of a human hair, and in the other, those that are larger. And you have to be precise as 10 micrometers. That's a tenth of the width of a human hair. Now, imagine you have to do this not for a handful, but for 1,000 kilograms of sand. And imagine you have to do this in a single second. Every second of every minute, of every hour, every day, week, year. That's what I get to do. That's what wakes me up in the morning. But why? Why do we have to separate all of this sand? Well, it's in your phones. It's in your laptops. It's in solar panels. It's in electric cars. It's silicon, one of the most valuable materials of the modern age, requiring over 30 million tons of sand to be processed every single year, a number that's only set to increase. Silicon needs high purity, so it becomes incredibly important to be able to remove contaminants. So it means that we need a precise method to be able to separate sand based on particle size. So, how do we tackle this problem? Well, the obvious solution would be to use a sieve. Sieves have a series of holes of a certain size, and a sand particle will only be able to pass through the hole if it is smaller than the hole. Unfortunately, large sand particles quickly find their way to these holes and get stuck, blocking up the sieve, making it a much less efficient process. In fact, it becomes so inefficient that to process that 1,000 kilograms of sand per second, you would need a sieve the size of 72 football fields. Doesn't sound like an ideal solution to me. And that's where my research comes in. In my PhD, I've been developing a brand new approach to solve this problem. I've been using what you could call a hydraulic sieve, expanding the openings out to 10 times larger than the largest particle of sand. No chance of blockages. Rather than relying on the size of the opening to match the size we're looking to separate at, I add a flow rate of water through, upward conveying the sand particles through the geometry of the hydraulic sieve. This geometry forces the fluid to move around and change, and imparts a specific force onto every sand particle in the system. And it's this force that determines whether the sand particles can pass through the sieve or not. And forget 72 football fields. Using this new method, I can process that 1,000 kilograms of sand per second in the size of a 7-meter radius. And I found through my research that not only can we target any separation size just by adjusting the amount of water that we use, but I can also do so within the width of a tenth of a human hair. And that sounds pretty good to me. Thank you.